Why do men care what we do for a living if they're a provider? I work in electrician field, and I can tell men, and I tell men I'm a front desk, so they don't assume I make more money. They're intimidated. Okay, good question, but it's not because of intimidation. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. It's not because of intimidation. It's unattraction. I'm gonna tell you why. To answer your question, it's not intimidation. It's unattraction. You work in a blue collar field. Well, I'm gonna give you multiple reasons why. The first reason why men care about a woman's the first reason why she's not Lamont, but it's cool. I peeped it. It's cool though. The first reason why men care about a woman's job title is simply the stress that is going to bring you on. This is one reason. It's a stress. If a woman is working in a very high stressful job, it's not a woman I want to deal with. I think most men can agree to that. Ladies, or fellas, you can put it in the comments. If a man, I'm gonna give you all the reasons. This is the first reason. Men don't want to deal with a woman that is in a highly stressful job, because what that is that's gonna be, the stress is gonna come on to me, whether we living together or not. When you get off of work, is this job stressful to where it's going to destroy the way that me and you deal with each other? And a lot of times that's going to be the case. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, men don't want you in a job market that is easily for you to be manipulated, or for you to have a bunch of temptation. That's why guys don't like to date women that are bartenders. They don't like to date women that are strippers, bottle girls, anything that got to do with you being in the club or being around a bunch of men, party promoters or DJs and shit like that. If you a singer, a lot of times that'll take away from the possibility of a man taking you seriously, because, well, you are in a field where you have to be around men. You have to likely look your best, and most of the men that are around you are going to be trying to sleep with you. Why would I want my woman around that? I'm not gonna want that, right? And it's usually not a professional setting, you know. So that's another thing. And then I would say that the last thing is, when you mentioned about money, Lily, you said I don't. They're intimidated by the money. No, men are not intimidated by women's money. The other reason why men ask for your job description and want to know what you do for a living is not to figure out how much money you make. But if it's not necessarily about the money that you make. It's about what your money is doing for your mental. So what a lot of women do is, when you guys start to get educated, quote unquote educated, when you start to get educated, when you start to make a bunch of money, what happens is you start to make that your personality. So what I don't want to deal with is a woman who feels like I'm a less of a valuable man because you have a higher degree than me, or you make more money than me, so my value to you is not that important. You feel like I don't need you. And the number one thing that a man brings to a woman is what? Protection, provision, providing. So if I can't provide for you better than you can provide for yourself, the first thought process for a lot of women is what do I need this man for? The women tend to date men that are taller than them or shorter than them, taller. The women tend to date men that are weaker than them or stronger than them physically, stronger, financially, more or less, more. Women want their superior in almost every single facet of life: height, money, intelligence, income, leadership, everything. Y'all want your superior. So if my main job as a man is to be a provider, and you're making more than what I can provide for you, I still want you to give me some sex. I still want some food. You get pregnant, I don't get pregnant. You got to go through postpartum, I don't. So what can I do that you can't do for yourself? Not much. And men want to feel needed. A lot of women feel like that's like you don't want to make a man feel needed. I think that's because a lot of y'all are traumatized, but men want to feel needed. I want my woman to feel like I'm important in her life. And if I feel like I'm not important in her life, or she makes me feel less of a man, that's gonna fuck me up, because that dynamic is important for men. Men got feelings too. So a lot of men don't want to deal with the mentality of the strong, independent, I don't need you and I got more money, so fuck you. And I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with your job and your education turning into your personality trait. Because a man is not choosing a woman based on your job and education. We choose you based on how well we can flow together, how attractive you are, how feminine you are, and how much you make, you're an asset to my lifestyle. That's how men choose women. Your money and education means nothing to us, especially for the man that you like. We're not talking about the bum ass dude that want to sleep on your couch. You don't want him anyway. We're talking about the guy that you actually like. So that being the case, of course I'm gonna care about my woman. I'm gonna care about your money. I'm not in a sense of I want you to make money. It's in a sense of like, okay, she makes $120,000. I make $80,000. Is this money changing her mentality and how she views me and how she views herself? If it is, I'm good. She's a bartender. I'm a pass, because she's probably gonna be she's gonna be temptation all around. A bunch of dudes trying to fuck her. I'll pass. So, and then the last thing, what did I say? Front, the stressful job. So if you work in a blue collar field, you an electrician, or you I don't know, welder or something. Those are physically stressful jobs. How many women want to work 10 hours a day in a physical straining job and then come home and give your man that, you know what, you're gonna feel like fucking. That's gonna make him feel away. So that's the stuff that men are thinking about. And if you too, you know, ignorant, or you too like it's all about me and your mindset, and you can't understand those things, and I don't know now I'm not speaking on you, speaking on in general to all the women that's listening. You have to understand male perspective shit. Because if you don't, you're not gonna have a successful dating market outcomes. Because everything is what I think and what I want, and but I'm different, but I'm this, but I'm that. Yeah, you and everybody fucking else. At the end of the day, this is how men are gonna think, and this is how men are gonna operate. We have to accept women's operations and thought process. We have to. It is what it is. So I'm in marketing, very basic job. Good. So that means you can come home and get in that kitchen, girl. Put your ass in there. And you know, and that's if you even want to work. Some women don't even, you know. What if I'm making enough and I be like, y'all don't even want you doing that no more. Some women may take that, take that offer. So that too. All right, let me read some of these comments. You got an ego? Yeah, of course I do. Every man does. You got an ego too. Every person does. Yeah, I don't hide it either. I'm honest about it. So what? I got an ego. So what? I'm a fucking man. Why not get a woman who provides for herself so that she if she chooses you, it's because of you? Well, part of manhood is being a provider. So that doesn't make any sense. That's like saying that that's like saying like, why don't I deal with a woman that protects herself? So if I choose her, then that's not because she wants me to protect her. That doesn't make any sense. Why wouldn't a woman want to be with a man that's a provider? Why wouldn't a woman want to be with a man that's a protector? That doesn't make any sense.